Woo! We're back. Couch Classics, brand new episode. It's your man Chopz. We got Adam with me. Zion right there, looking all gloomy and doomy, like Zion having a bad week.
It's bright in his room.
Right? Pierce is going to join us in a little bit, but we do have a very special guest for this episode where we are watching the Michael Jordan double nickel game against the Knicks, his 5th game back after coming back from retirement. We have professional shooting coach, lethal shooter, Chris Matthews with us. Lethal, what's going on?
Man, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We're excited you could join us. You ready to watch some classic hoops?
Man, I'm excited, man.
That's good. How many classic games have you watched since we've all been on quarantine?
Oh my God, every single day. It's like I'm going crazy, man. I'm like basketballed out. I love the game, but damn, I'm going crazy over here.
Yeah.
Chris, did you remember seeing this game, live when it went down?
I don't remember. I was 10 years old at the time, so when I was watching basketball, my dad, it wasn't like I was like locking in like what I do now for training. So I don't remember it.
Yeah, I was 11 when this game went down. I don't remember specifics, but I was definitely watching it with my dad because I'm a Knicks fan. And Jordan obviously cooked them up as usual. But yeah, it's a little bit hazy, but the highlights that they've been replaying you'll see in The Last Dance and some other stuff. He went off like he never has before, and especially the circumstance as Chopz said at the top. 5th game back from the 18-month hiatus. You shouldn't be scoring 55 points in an NBA game.
So for everybody joining us on YouTube, there's the timer. That's our countdown. The game is in the bio. It's on YouTube. Watch along with us. Click the link in 1:30. We're all going to start. I'm excited. I've actually never seen this game in full. I've seen the highlights, obviously, but I've never sat down and watched it. So I'm pretty excited to watch this and see Adam cry about his Knicks.
There's nothing to cheer about when it comes to being a Knicks fan. So it's another awful remembrance of just how Jordan would just tear out the hearts of Knicks fans on a consistent basis. Another instance, yeah. I mean, there's no reason. Well, I shouldn't say that. The Knicks were a very good team back in '95, but it's like Jordan took the most incredible pleasure in just abusing the Knicks and in making them lose in the most agonizing fashion.
Yes, this game's just under 2 hours long, so we're going to rock with you, watch the whole thing, and then you guys can listen to this rumored Drake album that's coming afterwards. So
it'll also be a nice remembrance of my favorite era of basketball, bruising 1990s defense.
Oh, my God.
And
get that shit out of here.
I can't wait to just run this back. The only thing that's going to be missing from this game is the NBA and NBC theme song, the greatest sports theme song of all time, because this game is a Tuesday night.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Tesh, wherever the hell he is.
Yeah, doing his thing. So we're about to click play, 15 seconds. YouTube. Josh, I don't see the live chat on YouTube, but let's do it. 5. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
2. Here we go.
Hit play.
We are playing. Oh, there's just a picture of Michael for 10 seconds. I thought my thing didn't start. It's just a picture of MJ. Oh, here we go.
It's not the most flattering picture of MJ either. They could have picked a better one.
Right.
MSG.
The Mecca. I miss it.
How does? Oh, this is on TNT. This is on NBC.
Yeah, I told you that.
Oh,
yeah.
Were you listening?
No, I wasn't.
Clearly.
I'm trying to figure out where the chat is.
Look at that beautiful building.
QB Brown, man, look at him. All haired out.
He's so young right here. Yeah.
Right. Look at those Jordan stats.
I got some stats for you. Jordan had scored 19, 21, 27, 32 points in his first 4 games back, but he was shooting terribly. I think he shot 39% in those games. So it was. I mean, he still got his points, but it was a struggle. And then, as we're about to see in this game, he got out of the gates on fire.
Lethal. Let's ask you, because a lot of NBA players, if the season does come back, they're going to be rusty. Jordan, similar situation coming into this game, probably rusty from the retirement. What does that do to someone's shot? Taking this much time off, not having game action.
Oh man, your rhythm's off. So you got to make sure you come back during practice to try your hardest. like the NBA players, that if they have a month into a game, it's probably best the first week don't go as hard. Just get up reps, but the next four weeks they need to go extremely hard if they expect to, when the game comes back, to have a good rhythm, because there's a lot of guys. I think if the NBA comes back and they only give them a month, I think a lot of guys are going to be shooting flat if they haven't been getting up to proper reps.
And what about the guys that don't have a hoop to shoot on? Like, what do you recommend for those guys to keep like any semblance of muscle memory and rhythm? Like, can you do anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do within the house, but there's nothing compared to shooting on the rim when you're an NBA player. It's kind of different, if you're getting ready for like middle school or high school. But NBA, if you're not shooting on the rim, you're really going to be behind. So I would say form shooting on your back, like I've been telling people on my page, working on your jab step in the house. Me, if I was an NBA and I didn't have a court, I would honestly just build one in the backyard. So I would try to figure out something to always stay sharp. But I feel like if you're not getting up shots right now in the NBA, you're gonna come out and your shot's gonna be really off.
Yeah, working on that nerve frame ain't gonna do it.
Nah, not at all.
Game is about to start. Sync your game up with us. The timer's right there. The game is in YouTube. Click on the link and watch it while we give you guys commentary. The late, great Craig Sager right there, looking marvelous. Craig Sager had one of the best moments of The Last Dance so far, I think. Handing Rodman the 20 as he walked by him.
Right.
Paying his fine for him. That was a great moment.
Yeah, like -5% of like Dennis Rodman's fine.
Shout out to Leo, man. Leo's back. Leo's back this week. Leo can too. I see you in the comments, man.
People are saying Space Jam is trash in the comments already. I don't know what's happening. Space Jam is definitely not trash.
Overrated basketball movie.
How does this look better than like you watch like an early 2000s NBA game? This looks better.
That's a good question. Yeah, like the Mouse the Palace, when we did one of these practice Couch Classics episodes, the video quality was horrendous. It was like 70s quality.
Yeah, it looked awful.
Oh, I love this Knicks team. Derek Harper, John Starks, iconic Knicks backcourt.
Iconic, yeah.
Iconic.
You weren't even alive for this, number one.
I don't care.
You rooted for the trash Nets, who were complete garbage until 2 years of Jason Kidd, and that's it, pal.
Listen, the Nets have had better success than the Knicks the past 20 years.
I can't fight you on that one. You're absolutely right.
I chose the right franchise, clearly.
Patrick Ewing, Knicks legend. With the
Lethal. With rumors of a new Drake album drop tonight, what celebrity that you either worked with or just seen has the best jump shot?
I think all of them are very lethal. I would say the one with that's kind of tough. You hit me with that without even thinking.
Asking the hard-hitting questions right up the top.
Yeah, let's say when we had our last pickup game, Trey Songz was kind of lights out. He was lights out.
Yeah.
Who's surprisingly really smooth with the jumper?
French Montana. He really surprised me. Like I honestly didn't. I mean, that's my man. So like when I say this is all love. Like I didn't think he was gonna have a shot like that. But his mid range, he probably made like, I would say 17 in a row after the workout when I just finished pushing him really hard in a drill.
That's legit.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, as long as you have a better jumper than DJ Khaled's, because no one's worse than that. You got to work with DJ Khaled on that.
And this is crazy because I actually studied DJ Khaled. So when I'm bored, I'll just like study random people's jump shots, because there's certain people that like, if I meet them, I say, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. So like I saw him shoot a few times and I know what he's doing wrong. I actually spoke to Travis Scott a month or so back, and we're going to get some work in, so that should be kind of cool.
Yeah, he's got kind of like almost like a Lonzo Ball kind of coming from the hip, I think, a little bit. Like it's a little bit herky jerky.
That thing needs
but it's definitely changed though. If you've seen recent videos, his jumper doesn't look like that anymore.
He's going straight up now.
Happy birthday to Travis Scott. His birthday today.
Oh yeah, happy birthday. I wouldn't say straight up. That takes a lot of time working on your jump shot. Since he's an artist, but it's not like you said, like that sling type of shot. It's starting to look a lot more better.
All right, we got some Bulls Knicks action going on. Scottie Pippen, who was making like $1 million at this point right here, backing down.
$2 million. He was only the 15th highest
Look at
paid
that
player in this game.
move. Oh my God.
Silky.
That was beautiful, man. It's just like
When you watch someone like Scottie, why is he? Is it just because he played with Jordan that he's so underappreciated?
yeah, and I just feel like a lot of people have to understand, and I'm not comparing him when I say this, but like Scottie he's an MJ, he is a LeBron, he is a unique player that needs to get that credit. I just think, like you said, he was so overshadowed that people didn't really notice what he was doing because it was remarkable. It was remarkable.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think people opened their eyes to him a little bit through The Last Dance.
I mean, they should know that he was a top 50 player when they put out that list. I mean, he was still an all-time great, even though playing kind of technically in the shadow of Jordan. But I mean, he was legit. And if you don't, hopefully you got an education watching The Last Dance.
Lito, I saw a tweet today. I'm not going to call out any names. People probably saw it, but it was the top ranking the top small forwards of all time.
Oh man, let's just say who put it out.
Name names, pal. Yeah, name names.
Say the name. Say the name.
All right,
Say the name.
All right, Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Go ahead.
His one was it LeBron? Did you see it, Chopz?
Yeah, I just saw that Paul Pierce was above Durant.
I saw Paul Pierce was Pippen and Larry Bird were above KD. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. I feel like we have to appreciate what KD's doing at such a tall size. Like, I love, like you said, I love the people that he had before Kevin, but Kevin he's one of those players that he's in a category of his own. And if you can just try to picture those same people that you put before him guarding him, I think Kevin would, he'll do some great things to get those against those players.
So one-on-one, who you taking, Pippen or KD?
The only reason I say Kevin because he's a scoring maniac, but Pippen defensively is absolutely remarkable because I've studied him a few times on how he's able to turn people. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but I feel like Kevin Durant, because Pippen, he's great, but he was in that system. Kevin Durant could flat out just score one-on-one.
Can we just appreciate MJ just taking John Starks to work on the block already?
He did that a lot in the game.
Easy. So easy.
Just, I feel like let's talk about MJ's post game a little bit because as we watch this replay right here, it's just like so smooth. I feel right.
I have a question. Why is Oakley has to get over there a little? I just feel like, and I love this era. Like the defense and stuff was rough, but like get over there as soon as possible. Like
Oakley did a bad job.
A massacre going on.
We might need a counter for.
We missed it. We were talking, and we are Pippen and Oakley were smacking each other in the face during one little session over here.
They just keep going. Jordan is just abusing.
Also, one of the best scenes, in my opinion, of Last Dance was when Oakley smacked Pippen on the side of the head when he was a rookie. As I said earlier in one of our podcasts, we need to get more Charles Oakley in this documentary.
I don't know about that. Can we get a John Starks missed shot counter on the screen? Because I think it's already at 3.
Go easy on that Knicks legend.
This man, just
I had a John Starks jersey growing up. He was my favorite Knick during this era.
Just using legends.
Did you guys see how fast the double team came on Pat? I feel like that's how quick the double team should have been coming on MJ. And the Knicks, of course, it's going to be hard to beat the Bulls, but I just feel like even right there, he got fouled. I just feel like, me personally, soon as Michael Jordan touches the ball, somebody has to come.
They're really letting him, like they're leaving Starks on an island a little bit. It seems like Lethal.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Like imagine you're coming out of a timeout. The last 6 possessions that nobody came on a double team against MJ. You're probably like, come on, man. Like, how am I supposed to? My mom's here. She's watching the game.
Starks wasn't a bad defender, but it's still MJ. And this is, even though, again, 18 months away from basketball, like he's still going to get his shot up and still going to cook you and still savvy enough to fake you out. And if you're not rotating the way Oakley did in that one possession, you're going to get abused.
Oh, shout out to Joe LaPuma in the chat. We see you.
JLP in the chat?
Yeah, he said, we tapped in.
He's a regular.
Bumping that demon?
Yo, stop just name dropping that randomly. Like, come on.
What? Okay, my bad.
He's on the OVO payroll. Come on.
Lethal. We're watching Patrick Ewing. He's so smooth with his game. What are your thoughts on just big men in general today in today's game compared to how it was with what we're watching?
I just feel like this era is a lot more grit. Today's big men are a lot more savvy with the ball handling and playing more like guards. So I respect these big men, the big men in this era, because they were putting their bodies on the line. Big men today are kind of away from the basket. I think the game will go back to that, but if we keep having players like Anthony Davis and guys of that nature who's able to play like a guard, I think the NBA is probably going to continue to have big men be able to step out for, like, I would say, the next eight years until we go back to that traditional big man that's just like a boozer. You know what I mean? Like a DeMarcus Cousins a little bit, how he's just like a boozer down there.
Yeah.
So what do you think it would take for the game to go back to that? Because I mean, obviously, it's a little cyclical and stuff like that. Trends come and go, but like, what would usher in the era of more bruising centers and more physical play? Like, would it have to be rules changes, or is it going to have to be some dynamic player just come in and completely, mess things up?
I wouldn't say rule changes. I would say more players being drafted who have that type of play. Like, we haven't seen too many Shaquille O'Neals anymore. We haven't seen the traditional big men anymore in the NBA who are just, give me the ball in the post, I'm going to bruise, I'm going to set screens, I'm going to lay people in their ass. So I just feel like it's not many of those players around. I mean, I could be wrong, but the stuff that I study, there's not many big men around who play this type of way for the NBA and for teams that say, you know what, we need to just go through him the entire time, like how we used to do back in this era. We used to go through the center and then come out to the guard. I think teams are going to continue to keep the floor space and let the guards do work and let the big men shoot threes or set screens and pop out instead of set screens and roll, because of just not many big men showing that they can dominate an entire game inside the post and not just on the wing.
They also didn't have analytics back then, so
good point.
No one to tell you that it's not conducive to take 19-foot jumpers all the time.
We got this point. This question. We need to get this one out the way. Someone said, who would win in a 1v1, MJ or LeBron from Miami?
That's
here we go. Jesus.
We need to get it out the way, man. So someone got to go for it, man.
I mean, you guys, I'm a Cavs fan.
I mean, listen, is LeBron going to back him down and just use his massive frame to just keep backing Jordan down? But Jordan was a really good defender too. I mean, he was an all-time great defender on the wing.
Jordan's agent, David Falk, did an interview today. He said Jordan would average 60 points in this era.
Really?
I mean, with the star treatment he got back in the 90s, yeah, he probably would average 45 a night.
45 is not 60, man. That's a little different.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but
but if James Harden is getting 39, close to 40 at points,
but
Jordan could easily approach that.
James Harden is shooting threes, more threes than Jordan too.
Yeah, he is.
Good point.
60 is an aggressive.
But again, if you put Jordan with his athleticism into today's game, he's going to become a 3-point shooter. He wasn't a good one during his career. He was an okay one, but he would shoot him or become a better one.
Lethal, can anything – I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. Can anything bring a balance to the Jordan-LeBron thing, or is it always going to be people are just dig in on Jordan being the best or people dig in on LeBron being the best? Or is it going to be able to be – you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just feel like, honestly, like me, I don't even compare the two because both of them are two different type of players. That's like us trying to compare Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Those guys were just two different type of players. And, but it just keeps the basketball world excited and who's better doing this. Because it's like sometimes the way that LeBron takes off in traffic, Michael Jordan didn't take off that way in traffic. You know what I mean? The way that MJ is able to go left and go right and do certain things, LeBron isn't able to do that. And both of them have their own characteristics of greatness. And then both of them are in a category that they can't do what the next man can do. So, like, when it comes to the two, honestly, like I think they're just in a category of their own, and I don't really compare who's better and all that nature. It just sucks because we would love to see both of them in their prime just go at it. You know what I mean? But I just think those two are in the category of their own.
I don't disagree with that.
I'll let you live with that one.
That was a very diplomatic answer. Yes.
Without giving out the definitive answer.
Are you sure you're not a politician?
It's real funny though as we watch this. Like these guys, they're catching the ball at the 3-point line. The guy is sagging back, and they're the guards, and they're not even looking to shoot the 3 ball
at all. At all. It's all
Starks will start launching at some point. Just give it a few minutes.
Yeah, I studied Starks' shot because I was bored one day.
I hope you didn't study game
how
7.
agonizing was that?
It's just small things that if somebody would have told him during these type of pressured moments, Jesus, because the open shots that he was getting, I mean, no disrespect to the Knicks fans, you guys would have won it. It's just I just feel like you
can't be going 2 of 17 from the field.
Yeah, but it wasn't his fault. You know what I mean? Like, think about this, man. You got this guy checking Michael Jordan, then you want him to hit the open shot. You know what I mean? Like Starks, like he's a legend. I look up to him, and he's why? Because he has heart. He has that New York grit. He has that
1,000,000%.
He has that. Yeah, he has that attitude of like F you is me, or I'm gonna go at you. But I just feel like where the Knicks messed up that year, they had Starks checking MJ. If they'd have took Starks off MJ with Starks getting the wide open jump shots, he'd have had more confidence to take the shots with confidence. Like, who can check MJ a full game and then knock down open shots and have confidence when somebody's just scoring at will?
Yeah, you can't do it.
We got our fifth guest or fifth co-host, Pierce Simpson, joining us. A little late, but he's here. Pierce is here.
Hey, what's up, crew? What's up, y'all? How y'all living?
Where you been, bro?
Where you been, pal?
Where you been?
That's what we doing. Let's not do that.
You late to work, man. You late to work.
You're tardy.
Yeah, Pierce late to work.
I'm on my Vince Carter. I had to graduate. I'm joining the game now. It's all good.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You prepared for that one, huh? I know you prepared for that one.
No, for sure.
Lethal, like you're saying, like John Starks had a hell of a time in the 90s. He's got to guard Reggie Miller, MJ, like all these premier two guards, because like in the 90s, the two guard was so much more defined rather than it is now,
Hello?
You there?
We got him.
Yeah, we got you.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just talking about how
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's just so many. The level of two guards in the 90s was just like so much better than now, I feel like.
It was just double team.
You got Harden now, but there's Starks. Oh, it's Brick.
Pop it, John.
Yeah, he missed it.
Man,
happens too often with Starks.
Oh,
nasty.
Shit.
Dang.
Sorry. Didn't mean to. Jesus.
No, you can say whatever.
No, yeah, you're on the right place. You definitely let that go.
Not ESPN.
Yo, Scotty's reckless.
I tell you what else was reckless, that contract. Can we talk about that?
I brought it up a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Man, goodness gracious.
He's putting his body on the line too much to be only making $2.1 million.
No, facts. No, facts.
Listen, he did get paid with that Houston Rockets deal. Like Scotty made it up a little bit towards the end, but yeah, he got.
Cap, do you remember that Rockets team?
Yeah, right.
I don't care about the team. He got paid with that contract.
I respect it, but come on.
He got a 4-year, like $82 million deal.
Can we talk about how this isn't this game, but I know it comes up in these Last Dance episodes coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
And Draymond's been talking about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley needs to get his damn flowers because that man was so damn good, and people don't realize it.
No, he was. He was a beast.
He was.
He actually, to be honest,
he was missing one piece.
What
was the one
shot?
piece?
Huh?
What was he missing?
Nice pass.
I think he was just missing that person. How do I say this? Like Charles Barkley was a great player. He's remarkable, but like I think he was missing that next person who could take the big shot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He never played with a fellow.
Yeah.
He came after Moses Malone.
Yeah.
And he never played with a fellow star in Philly. And he never had like a true another, really high caliber all-star. Like Kevin Johnson was good, but like not high caliber all-star.
So
Right.
I take it you mean like a 2-minute player in that sense. Can break down the defense in isolation and do his thing and get that shot.
That's all I'm saying. Like I feel
Right.
it was so much pressure because like I said, I'm bored a lot, so I just watch games. Like they was putting so much pressure on him to just do everything ISO, where when he is kicking it out, it wasn't that next person that could just give him like 3 or 4 or 5 possessions to just relax. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like if he had that, like you said, like that ISO player where he could just pass it to him and just relax, he'll be good. You know what I mean? Because that team, they almost had a chance to do it. It's just, they couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah.
What does Barkley play in 2020? Is he a stretch 5? Is he a stretch 4? Which I think
he's a Draymond. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's the same as a Draymond. But, the
Draymond that can score,
but an infinitely better score.
Yeah, y'all better relax before Draymond come find y'all.
Right.
Yeah, the only reason I don't say that is because Draymond's in that system, and who knows? Maybe if Draymond was in another system, we don't know if what type of scoring ability he does have. So I don't say that just yet. But if Draymond went to another team and he wasn't scoring, then I'll say okay, it was because of the Warriors while he was getting A and B. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's facts.
But you see that jump shot, it needs some work.
No, I mean it's a lot of players that need work, but I think personally, because in that world, he doesn't really have to work on it because he has 2 of the best shooters in the world on his team. Mm-hmm. And if he went to another team, of course he needs to put his money to work on that jump shot.
He has very different responsibilities with them.
Yeah.
Lethal. Which NBA player, current guy, has made the most strides as a shooter, you think? Like we're pretty not great, and then they actually became pretty, pretty good.
I would say this year I was watching Zoe very closely, and whoever he was working with and stuff. I just love the confidence. Like even the games that he shot bad or shot good, he always kept the same confidence. When I was studying him for the Lakers, I noticed he had his head down a lot. So I think the Pelicans did a good job of getting him prepared this season, not only with his jump shot, but his mind. Like y'all saw it, he was swagged out this year. You know what I mean? And I love to see, just players take their jump shot to another level. And whoever was working with him, I think they did a great job.
Lethal, if you make the NBA, you got to be super, super talented at what you do. So do you think it's more so a confidence thing for guys in the league that might struggle?
I feel like if you're struggling, if you're in the NBA, is 9.9 out of 10. Yeah, you need to just clear your mind. A lot of people, don't understand that a basketball player is a human being as well. He might be at home and his wife's getting on his nerve and his kids getting his nerve and his aunt's asking for money. His uncle might have just gotten a car accident. His friend might just got shot. So it's a lot of stuff that a lot of basketball players and a lot of people who play sports have to go through that fans sometimes don't think about that when they step on the wood or step on the football field. And I think 9 times out of 10, like you guys know, with the Kobe and Michael Jordan mentality and the LeBron mentality, those guys, as soon as they step on the wood, they don't really care what happened at home, what's going on in their family. It's time to get a W. So I feel like if you're a professional athlete and you're not putting out a product on why the team picked you up, personally, you need to clear your mind and get your job done.
No, that's real. That's real.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Jordan's just still going to work on Starks here. Poor guy.
Yeah, he's like the YMCA.
Like they're not even sending help at all. I get.
They had one double team that worked. There was one double team that worked.
It don't even matter
right now.
Like,
look. Go.
Yeah. Who's 11 on the Knicks? He gotta help.
Derek Harper. Respect that man.
And you know what makes me mad is when people say, well, if you leave him, he's going to get the next shot. I don't care. I'd rather the fourth man get 25 than MJ get 55 and we win by 7.
Yeah.
I was watching The Last Dance and I kind of had a sneaky theory. MJ must have hands, and we just don't know about it because you're not gonna drop 45 on me multiple times, and there's not a fight involved at some point.
You're gonna chit chat.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Nah, you go into the first row, MJ. My girlfriend here, God. My mama here, and you gonna give me seats.
Right.
Nah.
Hold up.
No.
My son here, and he got your jersey on.
Yo, come on. Nah. We're not doing that, Mike. We're not doing that today. No way.
My thing that I'm seeing in The Last Dance, bro. Every NBA player, like, even if they didn't like him, they like admire Jordan. Like, it's like
right.
Like Magic was like, yo, like, I love Jordan. You know, it's like so Pierce, they might have been honored getting 50 put on him by Mike.
Yeah, but you know what? Mike made all those NBA players a lot more money because there was more attention and more money coming to the game. So they should respect him and bow down to him.
Yeah.
Bow down, bro.
Yeah, bow down to a living legend.
Yeah, he's wilding with the bow down part. You relax.
Pay respect to your elders. This is the problem with the youth. You guys show no respect to your elders.
Nah, if I'm going up against you, I'm not bowing down to you. I'm trying to hurt you. I'm trying to beat you, bro. This is
all right, then, Zion. You got real violent right there.
Nah, but like theoretically.
Okay.
You feel me?
Look at Steve Kerr checking into the game.
Hey Pierce, who's paler, me or Steve Kerr?
Man, listen, I'm gonna have to go with you.
That's a contest, all right. That's a real contest.
I can barely see Steve Kerr on the day.
He's in the hardwood right now.
But what y'all can't tell me is Steve Kerr and Phil Jackson wasn't smoking weed together during those Last Dance things. Y'all cannot tell me that did not happen. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Acid, bro.
He even said it. That was wild. I was like, come on, coach.
Lethal. I know analytics didn't really exist back at this point, but Michael is taking shots right inside the 3-point line. Like, that's annoying me.
Like, go in. That I get confused about is this is what I get confused about because, like you said, there's no analytics but if there's a guy and he scores 55 and let's say 35 points came from mid-range, right? And he probably makes, let's say, 2 or 3 3-pointers. Why not just try? Of course, he's MJ. He's going to blow past. He's going to do some magician stuff. But why not just move up a little bit closer? Even if he blows past you, move up a little bit closer and just stay on his hip the entire time and just try to make things difficult. I think they set and because he's so magicianal with that jab step that as soon as you start relaxing, he's off the ground. And I think a lot of guys didn't do a good job of just trying to get up in his space really violently. You know what I mean? And it's just showing right here. Like, you let him do whatever he wants. He'll score 70 if you let him.
Yeah.
You talked about that. You've talked about the jab step a few times.
Yeah.
Is that like maybe one of the more underrated things that Jordan did or one of his underrated moves? Because we know the turnaround. We know he was an awesome athlete. But, in terms of how he went about his offense and trying to size up guys, is the jab step something that maybe gets really underrated or overlooked?
My bad. One quick, Lethal. My bad. One quick. Yeah. Everybody in the chat, ask us questions. We're going to answer them. Ask us questions. PJ Jacobson. The game is on YouTube. Click the link in the bio and catch up with the timer. My bad. All right, let's go.
Yeah. No, I just feel like in today's basketball, which you guys already know, we're all around the same age. Like, it's just too much dribbling going on in this era. Like you said, there was no analytics, but I bet you if they was to break down how many seconds that MJ used to have the ball, I mean, he barely has the ball in his hands that much because he's reading the game, he's seeing the game, he's feeling the game, but he's doing all that without dribbling. And if you can master the game without putting the ball on the ground so much and become an efficient player, that's when you become an on-court killer. Like right now, if you notice, we're all at the same time. Look, he's just bringing the ball up nice and smooth, has his back to the defender. As soon as he noticed he didn't have it, he just gave right up, cut. Now he's going to get it, take his time, 1, 2, bucket. You know what I mean? He missed, but everything's efficient. Today's NBA, when I study, let's say I'm studying a shooter, I try to break down stuff so that person wouldn't be putting themselves in bad situations. And the one thing that Michael Jordan always did, he put himself in good situations where he was comfortable to know where his scoring spots are at. He never put himself in a position that he knew he couldn't make it from that spot because he knew exactly where all his shots were going to come from.
Yeah. You guys ready for some trivia? Lethal, we do some trivia throughout this.
All right, let's get it.
Let's do it. First question, chat, get with us. We're about to do some trivia. This is obviously MJ's 5th game back after retirement. How many home runs did Michael Jordan hit during his baseball career?
Oh, man.
Put your hand down. Put your hand down.
Adam ruined it because he probably know that. Like the back
Yeah,
of
you
his
know
hand.
he know that. You know he know that.
The MLB Network.
What's wrong with that, pal?
All right, Adam, you said 3.
I'm gonna go 3.
I'm gonna go 4.
It's low. I know that. It's not a lot.
Nah, I'm gonna go 2 because I actually think it was. I was thinking 2 before Adam put up his hands up.
Everybody in the comments, get your guesses off.
But the more distance we get from that, like how wild of a concept that is. If like Steph Curry was like, I'm gonna go play baseball real quick. Like what?
Bro. So wild.
Twitter would be in a frenzy.
Cash Out Christian says 4.
2 to 6. You can't guess a range. 5. 2 to 6.
I mean, it's an accurate range, but
Kobe 8 says I'm gonna say 2.
Jordan played 127 minor league games for the Birmingham Barons.
That's a pretty decent amount of games.
It's a
17.
full- yeah.
It was not 17. I can tell you that much.
Basically a full season of
He
minor
might
league
have had
baseball.
17 hits.
Alex Herrera says any Nigerians here? Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why you said that. Bro.
It's not 0. I can tell that. All right, let's get the answer.
Here's side
Oh,
question
3.
for you.
Okay, he knew it.
Yeah.
Side question for you: Who's had more career home runs in the minor leagues, Tim Tebow or Michael Jordan?
It's the same one. It's because I looked it up earlier, Adam.
Well, then you're wrong.
I thought it was 3.
Tim Tebow had 2.
Nope.
It's getting real messy. What do you end up with?
All right, who cares about Tim Tebow?
Tim Tebow has more home runs than Mike Jordan. We got to reveal the answer.
It was 3. He already said
It
3.
was 3.
Yeah.
It was 3, man.
Oh, excuse me, I missed it then.
Catch up.
Here's the next
I
one.
gave it to you 2 minutes ago anyway.
Here's the next one. How many 50-point games does Michael Jordan have during his NBA career?
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'm gonna let Lethal. You should go first on that one, bro. I know.
Michael Jordan. Looking at this D. I don't want to be wrong, man. I'm just gonna throw a number. Let's say, it seems like 50s was like 30s to him.
For MJ, I feel like
Right. Tony Kukoc.
14.
14.
I'm gonna guess high. I'm gonna guess higher than that.
Chop's gonna say something ridiculous.
Yeah, don't say like 50.
Don't say 30. Right?
I'm gonna say like 35.
No,
Chopz.
that's insane.
50
Come
points.
on.
35 50-point games.
I'm gonna say 9.
I was gonna come in around 17.
I'm gonna say 9.
17.
50 is-
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
50
60.
points
14.
is wild.
Yeah.
Ah!
And like, are we counting playoffs too?
It's all of them.
Okay. Yeah. So 17. I'm gonna say probably a little bit less
Yeah,
than 20.
I think it's higher than
I'll
that.
say 16. I say 16.
Let's
16.
get
Damn,
the
y'all,
answer.
everybody's gonna say 14. All right.
Let's see what it is. 31.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
31.
31 times.
Damn, see, I was the closest.
That's crazy.
And you know
Wow.
what? Look at the turnaround. Just doing whatever he wants. Goodness, we should have said 50.
Right?
Yo,
Y'all just
Nah, that's crazy to think about. 31 times.
Hey, I bet
without
y'all
taking a
never
lot of
thought about
3-pointers.
The last move when he was getting his spacing, it looked just like the Michael Jackson when he's on his toes. And it's like poetry when Michael Jordan does that. Yeah.
Sheesh.
You know another thing, if people watching notice what he's doing, he's on fire. He wanted the ball as they were taking it out. He noticed his teammate didn't give it to him. He just went up the floor, because he knows within the system he's going to get the ball back. And that's why MJ was so good, because he knows in this system that he's going to get whatever he wants when he wants.
crazy.
That's a great point that you mentioned that, because I don't think a lot of superstars in today's era, even though Mike was upset about the equal opportunity offense that Phil had, he still kind of went through it and tried to perfect it as best he could instead of just being stubborn and not listening,
Yeah.
Kobe
and it's go ahead.
My bad. Kobe 8 has a crazy stat. MJ has more 50-point plus games than 15-point or under games in his career.
That's wild.
Whoa.
That is
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
Bro.
That's wild.
Oh my God.
No, like you're saying, and it was very interesting to hear Michael talk about the offense going to a triangle and him still being the focus but not being the focus type thing.
Yeah.
G Money Bag says it was 37, not 31.
He's inaccurate, so
Yeah.
he had the right answer. You know who's number 1 all time in the NBA?
Who?
Will Chamberlain.
That makes sense. I mean,
But how many 50-point games?
Wilt was playing against plumbers who were 5'2".
Very different game. Yeah, very different game.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Will had 118 50-point games.
Have y'all heard the
I haven't seen Wilt any footage, so.
Oh, here we go. This is what I was waiting for. Here we go.
Truther.
Here we go.
Just like Stevie Wonder ain't blind, Wilt ain't score 100. That's my 2.
Yo.
What was I about to say? I forgot.
Will also did that. Will also dropped 100 points on the Knicks.
The Knicks are quietly dominating this game, by the way. Like, Jordan's on fire, but the Knicks are up by 12.
Knicks were a better team at this point.
Yeah, Jordan's not getting a lot of help from the supporting cast tonight.
That's a good point.
I mean, they're running Luke Long. Is that Luke Longley?
Let's not say. See, this is I think a lot of people get mistaken. We say, oh, the supporting cast. There's no NBA team, even those Boston teams that went on those insane years of all those rings. The reason why those teams were so good because they were all built in a system that everybody knew their role. So, like when people say, "Oh, MJ had a supporting cast," I mean, there's no way to win a championship if Tom Brady doesn't have good receivers. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like you always need those pieces in there, and they try to water down Kukoc or water down Luke Long. Like they were amazing back then. Like if we put Kukoc in today's NBA, he'll probably fit in better with his NBA being at 6'10" shooting threes. He'll probably get a max contract. You know what I mean? So yeah,
probably be the next giving him 2.
Kukoc was built for today's NBA. I think the way that he played. I think Kukoc was built sort of for today's NBA. The way he played.
Oh, it was beautiful. Like if you watch Kukoc right now, like. The way he plays in this system, he understands the reads. He understands because that European feel, like he spaces back out, like he understands where to go. So, like, if he played in this era, I can see him making a lot of money. Of course, in this era, it was so rough and rugged, and with him being with his background, I don't think he was really built to just be playing with this type of rough feel. But in today's NBA, he would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so cruel how the game can be because. Shoot, let's think 7 years ago, we were giving Chris Bosh grief for staying on the 3-point line and shooting a lot of corner threes. Now he's going to get a max if he was in 2020 balling. So
crazy point.
Yo, it would be crazy to see
Chris
him.
Bosh would still be playing today. He's if he didn't have the heart issue, he'd still be playing in effect.
Right. Oh, for sure.
How was
with
that
silky smooth shot?
Pippen. Oh, that's a break.
See, even with Pippen shooting that shot, the way this game looks, that looked like a bad shot. But in today's NBA, it's like, good shot, Pippen. But the way that this game is going, that's a bad shot.
We got one more trivia question in this batch. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Who set the record for the most points scored at Madison Square Garden?
Oh, that's easy.
He's currently playing.
James Harden.
Okay, all right.
It's not Harden.
It's Harden.
Harden has the record for visitor.
Yes, that's the question.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's
Who
not.
has the record for most points scored at? Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. The answer is definitely Harden. That's what I looked up. We wrote the wrong one.
You looked up visitor.
If it's
I
looked up most points at MSG.
If it's a visitor, it has to be James Harden. But if it's not a visitor, is it Melo?
If it's not, I think it's Melo with 63 against the Bobcats in 2013, right?
Melo was 62.
Because
LeBron did it the night before, right?
Melo was 62 with the Knicks against the Hornets. You're right. That was a Friday night game, and Harden has the visitors record.
Oh, well, if you look it up, it was wrong. So
check the source.
Man, try to look it up.
See, but like you guys said, it's 33-47. Of course, teams make runs, but there's no reason why the Knicks don't keep applying pressure. Because if you guys notice right now, I could be wrong, but MJ's out. So they're resting MJ so he can just come in and do whatever he wants to the defense. So I feel like this is the time that the Knicks apply, go right at these guys. And I feel like teams didn't take advantage back in these days because Phil Jackson was such a guru with the way that they like played chess while other people playing checkers that the other teams wasn't really evolving to the way the Bulls were playing. Because look at this unit that's out there right now with the Knicks. Like right now, who can check Patrick Ewing on the Bulls right now? Nobody. But the thing with the Knicks, look how much we're making Patrick Ewing run around. That is not good. Yeah. Like Pat just came from the 3-point line, ran all the way to the paint, had to cut somebody off, then run all the way back. That's why he was always so hurting. And I feel like they did a better job of what do you guys want to say? Like protecting him defensively, like hiding him. I think he'd have had more energy to like like right now he's tired. He's bending on his knees. This is probably gonna be I don't want to be wrong, but it's gonna be a bad shot. Yeah, because he's just tired.
Yeah, found now.
Yeah, Lethal, you make a great point with that because we see it with the Rockets now. Everybody wants to give James Harden grief about taking off on defense, but when you have to exert so much energy on the offensive end, that's pretty much what you should do anyway. If you can give me 60 points at any given time. So I'm with you right there on Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Is that Mr. Greg Anthony?
Yes, sir.
It's cool.
What do we think of Cole Anthony? Lethal, have you had a chance to look at him? He's an interesting prospect, I think, coming in.
Yeah, I trained him about 3 times throughout the year and a half, and I mean, I think he's a good talent, great athleticism. I was able to see him go against some top talent, and I think he does a great job of adjusting in games. Unfortunately, I saw he got hurt this year, so I don't want to judge him on the North Carolina season, but I am proud that at the end of the season, he still was playing as if they were going to the NCAA tournament before this even quarantine situation happened. Like, we all knew that they were a bad team when he came back, but he was still giving it 100%. So it just shows the type of heart he has. And in today's NBA as a point guard, you know, it's different stuff that he is going to have to add to his game, but I'm excited to see what he turns out, how he turns out as a pro.
Yeah. Have you studied LaMelo at all? I've
studied LaMelo, and I'm really excited to see how he turns out. I'm a huge fan of him only because he's very confident. He understands what he wants to do. Of course, you know, back in the day, you remember he might shoot some off the wall shots from half court, but when he was playing, his videos were hilarious in high school. Man, he was disrespecting people, man. But I was studying his stuff from Australia, and I'm just proud of how he was able to evolve in that rough basketball in Australia. And that's what told me, like, you know, he's going to be really good in the NBA because those guys he was getting fouled hard. And he was still playing team basketball, and he was playing in the system. If you guys were watching as well, he was helping other people get better. So that's going to really help him in the NBA if he's knocking down that jump shot. It's going to be nice. Yeah.
Lethal, we see things are changing with the G League, and they're now getting some of the top high school recruits to come play with a select team, specifically out here in California. If that team approached you to come work with that squad, would that be something you'd be interested in?
A G League team?
So, like, they had the G League select team where, like, the number one player in the nation, Jalen Green, is going there. So if they said, could you come help our guys, would you be interested in doing something like that?
I'm always open to different, you know, different jobs. I have opportunities right now with NBA team, G League team, college teams, but I just feel like right now I just want to be patient because just like you guys know, when you decide to go to a team or a college team, once you make that decision, it's no turning back, you know? So I just want to make sure I make the right decision. And right now, you know, me going to a G League team, I just feel like right now I wouldn't want to do that. It all depends. It depends on, like you said, who's on the team or if I'm going to be learning under like a guru or something of that nature. So it's more of the best opportunity where I could become a better coach and learn from people who can help me elevate my mind as a coach.
No, that's facts.
Lethal said, let me see who's going to be there.
Right.
No, big talk. Big facts. Bro, I be seeing some jumpers in the league. I'd be like, call Lethal right now. Get him on the phone to fix this guy's jumper.
That's how, like you guys know, in this business, you know, what people don't know is, let's say, like, I'm on the G League team called the Pepsis, and the Pepsis have Tony, and Tony hasn't been able to make a jump shot for 15 years, and then I'm on the coaching staff, but Tony doesn't train with me. Tony might train with somebody else, but I'm on the coaching staff, and Tony comes out and shoots 15%. It's going to look like I was training with him while the whole time I wasn't training Tony. So it's like, I want to make sure I protect myself as well and not put myself in a situation where it's a project where somebody is like, you know how it is, guys. Like, you got to be smart out here. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
No, that makes a great point. Great point.
This guy Doodoo Brown says Ewing 22.5 goal tens per game.
He's actually correct in that.
Doodoo Brown. I know. I mean,
yeah, but Ewing would do that at Georgetown. He would swat every ball around the rim just to intimidate people, and he would have 1 million goaltends earlier on in the game in the first half.
Yep.
Accurate.
Shout out Cash Out Christian. He said he was here at the
DeRozan.
Cavs Warriors stream.
Yeah, Cash Out Christian's the DeRozan stand that we got.
Oh, okay, he's back.
The DeRozan stand that comes and watches it every day.
Hey, man, I don't know why you stand DeMar DeRozan, but I respect it.
We appreciate the fans.
Lethal, what do we think? The Bulls are kind of doing like a little trap every time the Knicks bring the ball up the court.
So the thing that I know, and this is what I was explaining to you guys too. The difference in this game with the Knicks and the Bulls, the Knicks don't give the ball up quick. The Bulls, when they do stuff like that, they give it up faster. And I feel like that's what always hurt the Knicks when people would double team Patrick Ewing. It's like nobody understood where to be when Patrick Ewing got double teamed. It was like nobody was ever on the same page, like a system where, okay, we're going to give you the ball on the left side, Pat, because you're probably a good scorer over here. But as soon as that double team drops here, this guy's going to be here, that guy's going to be there. And I feel like teams like the Bulls who mastered their offense, no disrespect to the Knicks if they did, but like they look discombobulated at times. And I feel like having somebody like Patrick Ewing, if we're all on the same page when that double team happens, those guys could be sitting out there smoking cigarettes, knocking down 3-pointers. You know what I mean?
No, that's facts. That's facts.
So are you a big proponent of the triangle offense?
Oh, absolutely. Craig Hodges was my coach for 2 years overseas. And when he was my coach, I'm not going to lie, like I kind of hated it at first because he would make me train so much because I was the guy that had to like make reads and do certain things that he wanted because I had to be like him in that system, if that makes sense.
Right.
And after I really got it, after hours and hours of being with this guy, it was the easiest system for me to score. I mean, I have a clip on my Instagram where in the playoff game, I scored 19 straight points when he was my coach, and I have it online. Yeah. It's just when you really understand that system, it's like soon as I get the ball, I know that guy's coming. I can either fake it to him and turn around and take that jump shot, or as soon as I get the ball, I kick it right up. And I don't even have to look. I know where everybody's going to be. And I'm just so surprised that a lot of teams don't use this system because you can literally get the basketball and know this guy's going to be cutting. That guy's going to be there. And that's why I was telling you guys with the Knicks, it just looks like nobody knows where nobody's going to be. And that's what I think really frustrated Big Pat, because you notice sometimes when he gets the ball, the double team comes, he doesn't even know where to throw it.
Damn.
Because Lethal, if I'm not mistaken, on the triangle, it's all just options from one play, right? And it's just different actions that you can do. It's
crazy. It's like you remember that scene of what's the movie when those guys go to Vegas?
Hangover.
And, you remember the scene on Hangover when he was coming down the elevator and all those ideas was in the head when he had to gamble?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's how. That's how the triangle is. It's like that's how many options is that. Like you can literally get the ball. And it's like it's crazy. Like it is. But the thing is, your mind has to be able to think. You have to be able to have a basketball mind to use a triangle. And today's NBA, today's college, and today's high school basketball, there's not as much thought going into certain systems. And I feel like players aren't getting stimulated to push their minds. And that's where I think it's hurting today's players, because we can get so much out of these guys if we start back, teaching them basketball the right way.
Right. So why didn't it work when the Knicks tried to implement the triangle with Carmelo when Phil Jackson came on board?
Answer that
because
I mean, they could. It's a slightly rhetorical question, but I want to hear your answer.
Yeah, there's certain players, like what MJ said, he was frustrated. He didn't like it at first, and there's certain plays like players like Carmelo where if you put that system around him, you have to have the right piece. We can't have a Bentley and put a Honda engine inside of a Bentley, if that makes sense. So like we tried to put a triangle around Carmelo, and that year it wasn't the right pieces that fit in. Just like what MJ said, like you have to have the right systems in the triangle for it to work. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, it's funny because I'm watching the Knicks, the way the Knicks move and how the Bulls move. The Knicks wouldn't be a good team to do the triangle just because of their bigs are like real, like they can't move like the Bulls.
They don't have the same athletes.
They don't have the same athletes. So if you notice, the Bulls bigs are very agile. They can read and move really quick, where the Knicks bigs, they have to take a second to even make a move or turn or set a screen. And in a system like the triangle, it doesn't work that way because you're literally slow down the offense. And the triangle offense is about precision and moving that ball and understanding to get the hell off the floor.
I mean, when the Knicks, when Phil Jackson came on board and he instituted the triangle, even though he was a front office exec, everyone was going crazy about it. But it's like, the Knicks only had Carmelo, who's an ISO heavy player, which is what Jordan was back in the late 80s. But Jordan adapted eventually, kind of came on board. But he played with much better personnel, like million times better personnel with Scottie Pippen and the other role players than Carmelo ever did. So it was doomed from that standpoint, where it's like, the Knicks couldn't get anyone decent to pair up with Carmelo.
Man, absolutely. I just feel like personally, because I went to the Knicks a few months back because I was helping some players. I just don't see why more players wouldn't want to play for that franchise. Like, I absolutely, like, even me, like, I've never played in the NBA, but like, it's like when I went into that practice facility and walked into that arena, it's like, it just gives you a certain type of chills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we've had this argument because Zion's a Nets fan, I'm a Knicks fan, and you can make the case so easily right now that it's way more attractive to play for the Nets when you don't have the hysteria and paranoia and the nonsense that comes down from ownership with the Knicks. And also, you talk about the practice facility, like Brooklyn's practice facility is 2 neighborhoods away from Barclays Center. And the Knicks practice facility up in Westchester, you got to deal with traffic going back and forth between the city. And like that adds to it. That's like, guys like Jared Dudley have talked about that and others who have kind of, been around the city. Like it's a pain in the ass to deal with New York traffic. And you don't have to deal with that if you're playing for the Nets and living in Brooklyn.
And Kobe 8 said it too. James Dolan is there.
Yeah. Dolan doesn't exactly help matters.
Yeah. But I truly feel like, honestly, like, I'm not an NBA player, so I can't have, but it's like, I don't care if I have to drive 2 hours every day to the gym. I don't care if I'm sitting in my car. If I'm a pro, I hire a car service. They drive me to practice every day. If I have to wake up at 3 a.m. just to get to practice at 7, that's what needs to be done. Like, it's certain things that people say what they don't like about franchises, but it's just like, just go play the game. Like, as long as nobody's not disrespecting me in the front office or being racial or something like that, like block out the negativity, and I feel like, with Knicks fans, like you guys said, like it's certain type of tension with there, but like you got to be a certain type of player and have a certain type of concrete around you to handle Knicks fans. And I feel like that shouldn't deter you from being on a team because this is something you work for your whole life. Like no disrespect to fans, but I don't care what fans say. I don't care what other people say about me. If I'm in there, like forget the fans. It's about you, your team, winning a goal. So like, the Nets are the wave because of, the practice facility, because I help Nets players as well. And they're in the mix. Like the facility's nice and they're in a great area. But me having to get in the car for an hour every day, that's if I'm making millions of dollars, like get a car service, pay somebody $100,000 a year to pick you up every morning, pick you up in the afternoon to take you back and forth. You know what I mean?
You would think, but it's still a pain in the ass. Like it's still like, it's still life. And like, who the hell wants to deal with traffic and again, like going that far and it's legit. Players have talked about it. Players haven't shied away from it.
And can we talk about this with and without Mike graphic on the screen right now?
Oh yeah,
Knicks dominating when Mike's not on the court, and then
that sounds about right. Yeah, that's how it went for Knicks fans.
Just 35 points in 20 minutes in the first half. Insane numbers by Michael Jordan. Second half,
yet the Knicks still had a 6-point lead going into into halftime.
Yeah, second half underway.
Chopz, repeat the numbers
for what?
For his halftime numbers.
Jordan had 35 at half.
Yeah, 35 at half. In 20 minutes. It's insane. All mid-range jumpers, it seemed, and just taking Starks to the basket.
John Starks, barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
Respect that, man.
The thing is, like, Lethal, like, what I'm noticing, like, that was a good pass by Ewing, but it really just doesn't seem like the Knicks were using Ewing in the right way a lot of the times.
Personally, like I said, I like right now, I apologize. Look. MJ comes down, does 2 dribbles, fakes right, goes left. Why didn't the double team come really quick to get the ball out of his hand? But just to go back to what you were saying, I'm the coach right now. Look. Why do we have Patrick Ewing? Like I said, I played with his son in high school, so all this is respect.
Yeah.
his knees aren't great. So why are we moving him like he's KD? Let's preserve him. Let's preserve him, and instead of him coming out to set those screens, how about somebody comes and set that screen where he's the guy that's setting a back screen or something to get the pop up. I think we were running him way too much in this time of his career for him to have legs at the end of a game to make jump shots or make sky hooks or block shots or even run down the floor.
Yeah. He's doing a lot.
He would have bags of ice the size of an iceberg after every game.
The John Starks just with a crazy flop right there. We saw it.
You didn't get fined back then for that.
That was actually a good charge.
Pippen's picking up full court press. I mean, it's not working every single time, but he's picking up full court press every single time down.
Look at MJ.
Oh, he's so mad at Tony. He's so
he's on him.
Because you know that man.
We ain't seen Tony in the dock yet with an interview.
You know that man can't guard a soul.
Nah,
Tony Kukoc, we've had some random Bulls players pop up. Tony Kukoc is yet to pop up.
But he's coming. He's coming.
I don't know if you guys saw this. All right, here it is. As soon as double team came. Look, the double team came really quick, but Charles Oakley was who he's about to pass it to the three-point line. That means Charles Oakley would have had to make the decision to shoot the ball.
And then Oaks putting up a 20-foot two-pointer.
Yeah. All right, so now he made a quick move, which was good, and he got fouled. But the thing is, he made that quick move, but it was still in all that congestion. Like nothing was just relaxing about this offense. Not relaxing. So which one of you guys?
They lacked a shooter, I would say, on the outside.
But which one of y'all telling Charles Oakley not to shoot? It's not going to be me.
No. We would never say Big Charles not shoot, but there is ways of hiding players like him in a system. So when the double team happens, okay, if we're the coach and the double team is coming from Oakley, right? Why would we put Oakley in the position in the offense that his players even allowed to run over there? Hide Oakley all the way on the other side so they can make a decision with another player, but that player is a shooter. So when Big Pat kicks it out, that player is wide open for all net jump shot. And then if that player doesn't take the shot, Charles Oakley could be the one to set the pick and roll where that player who has the ball, who's a shooter, will still get the open shot because nobody will be checking him off that pick and roll.
That's real. So I assume as a coach, you take the mindset of I'm gonna have my scheme fit the personnel that I have, as opposed to just trying to find. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. That's
all. Like once again, Jordan gets the ball, goes baseline. Starks once again is in the stands, just giving all that up. Like just cut off the baseline and the double team comes.
He said, "Look at MJ, man." So
what happens if we drop prime LeBron in on this game?
Oh man, here we go.
Here we go.
What happens for real? It came up
against
so
the Knicks,
or put LeBron against the bad boy Pistons. What happens? In my mind,
we discussed that yesterday.
Put Bill Laimbeer in a blender. That's what I think.
Listen, sure. We had this question yesterday on our socials. The bad boys versus today's Lakers.
That's a good one.
And I'm picking today's Lakers, to be honest. Either era. I don't know if anyone has a objection. Either era.
You know what, Zion? I'm not mad at that because you know they're going to do the LeBron AD pick and roll. So is Joe Dumars going to have to switch? Like he may cover one side of the pick and roll, but Bill Laimbeer in isolation is getting cooked.
Bro.
He's getting barreled over. He's a stick figure compared to the guys in the league now.
Getting
I know. 80's not a contact guy.
Bad boys, Pistons, today's Lakers. What's happening?
Lito, what you got, man?
The bad boys, today's Lakers. Who checks Anthony Davis?
Exactly.
Well, no, Rodman's going to be on him.
LeBron James.
Wouldn't Rodman be on him?
Would you put Rodman on him?
So
Rodman was so
Dennis.
Rodman was that he was so skinny when he was on the Pistons.
He was.
AD is a grown ass man.
So Lito, give us the breakdown.
I'm just going with the Lakers only because, like you said, LeBron coming down full court like downhill like a train with no brakes. They're gonna have to keep fouling. He's just gonna keep going to the free throw line. Like MJ is one of the most agile players in the game. That's why he was so good because his ability to change in the air. And LeBron, he doesn't change as much in the air because they have two different type of bodies. But LeBron coming downhill and Isaiah Thomas trying to grab him, he's going to be flying in the air with him. So I just feel like honestly, like, you know, LeBron's body was built for that type of era. And people say, oh, you know, LeBron, he's not tough though, but it's two different eras. If LeBron was in this era, his mindset would be just play, you know, tough out there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I don't get
like,
that.
I think LeBron.
Go ahead, finish up.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it's like, you know, you talk about people, and Chopz, you'll back me up on this one. People who complain that LeBron isn't tough, I think, is ridiculous. I mean, he gets destroyed. He gets physically beat up every single game. And I think he does complain about the calls a little too much for my liking. But the idea that LeBron isn't tough, like, other than last season, like, when has he missed significant time for injury? How many times he played hurt? Yeah. He played in the finals with a broken hand after punching the wall after game one of the 2019 NBA Finals. So it's like that narrative is idiotic for people to call him not tough.
Here's one thing about this Lakers bad boys thing, though. Isaiah might have got his. Isaiah might have got off a little bit. Because what guard on the Lakers would have checked Isaiah?
Everyone's too slow.
Everybody's way too slow. Rondo's not checking. They may end up having to put LeBron on Isaiah.
I
think we can't discredit Avery Bradley's defense.
Oh, that's true. Avery Bradley
is built for that 90s grit basketball. Like I think he's built for that. Am I saying that?
Or Danny Green you put on Isaiah Avery? Also.
Yeah,
too slow.
Avery.
Avery's the more. Yeah, you're right. Avery's the better.
Isaiah Thomas is a different beast. Isaiah's Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? So in that era, Isaiah was Kyrie. Like he was doing the Harlem Globetrotter moves in the game back in those days. You know what I mean?
I mean, one thing that The Last Dance is doing, like new generation is getting introduced to MJ, but a new generation is also disrespecting Isaiah and probably not realizing how good Isaiah Thomas was. That's the second half of it.
It's very sad just to, you know, because I love the game, but it's sad how people like Isaiah Thomas have to go on TV to just remind people what he did and just credit himself. Like people like him shouldn't even have to say anything. And it's just the level of disrespect that basketball player in the basketball world give players like him is mind-boggling, because the stuff that he was doing, you know, it's not normal. It's not normal he was doing for that size. Like you got a sprained ankle, and I could be wrong, guys, but he drops 40 and he's shooting off one leg. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. I just feel like, you know, we have to do better, I feel, of educating the younger crowd and the people of today's era to understand that, yeah, these guys weren't shooting from the garden sign or shooting 50 footers, but these guys had skill, and that's what the type of skill that was used in this era.
Yeah,
facts. I think sometimes we get caught up too much in that ring culture. So it's like Isaiah got 2 rings, and all of a sudden he doesn't get mentioned amongst the great because he doesn't reach a certain threshold. Yeah. It's like, nah, he put Detroit basketball on the map in many ways. Yeah. He's a Chicago basketball icon. So it's just like, you gotta give him his flowers.
I mean, hearing what Isaiah has said, I think it bothers him that he's from Chicago and then he went and played the Bull like an MJ and that happened. So people from his hometown kind of even don't appreciate how good he was being from Chicago. I think that plays into it. Kobe 8's got a good one. Dennis Rodman prime, I'm guessing like built Dennis Rodman. Lethal, is he obviously no one can stop LeBron, but what is Rodman going to be able to do to LeBron?
Be a nuisance, you know, grab on his jersey, poke at him, pinch him, smack him in the head, pick him up full court, bite, like just like doing things that's irritating. But like what people, but like what? Well, we can't compare Dennis Rodman and Lance Stevenson.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
that's what Lance tried to do. Yeah.
But the thing that I'm saying is Dennis Rodman would have. But remember, like you guys said, if LeBron would have came up in that era, it wouldn't phase him as much. But I think in that era, Dennis Rodman trying to, you know, stop LeBron, like you guys said, he's a football player. Like who can stop him going downhill in that era except like a Sean Kemp? That's what people don't understand. Like imagine LeBron and Sean Kemp going at it. Like just they both have that same type of body. You know what I mean? So You know, I just feel like Dennis Rodman, you know, he's one of the best defenders of all time. But I think checking LeBron would be tough. He would have to foul him. They would have to set him up. Lambert would have to come and WWF him, and then and then we'll see how that game goes.
Kukoc got the world's smallest tattoo. What's going on in this game? Do y'all see this?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what kind of shoes he's wearing. I can't tell. It's blurry.
I think those are Nikes.
Let's do some what ifs. How about this?
All right.
If MJ never came back, what teams could have won some rings, we think? Could the Knicks have broken through and won a ring?
I mean, this team was they didn't lose to the Bulls in this playoff run, but this team was definitely good enough. But also 93, like, I mean, Knicks should have beaten the Bulls, and they were favored to win that series. But then you're talking about if he didn't come back. So maybe one Knicks team, maybe 96 they would have had a chance.
Who takes advantage the most if MJ never came back to, like, never unretired? Ever. Yeah, like he retired.
Well, if Orlando stays together, it's the Magic.
I was about to say, I think it's the Orlando Magic because I don't think Shaq leaves if they're able to have continued success in Orlando because they beat Jordan the first time he came back. Jordan came back and kicked that ass afterwards, and then it was just dissension after that. So I think Houston would continue to dominate because, of course, they got a king, but I think Orlando is probably next in line.
Dang, Orlando.
Indiana had some really good teams too, late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
That's a good point.
Oh, I was watching Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals 97 when Kukoc saved the Bulls. He went off in Game 7. Indiana was right there. Like they were on the doorstep. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously Indiana broke through a couple years later and they ran into, Shaq and Kobe. So.
I mean, maybe Kemp and Payton get a title when they don't have to face, Jordan and Pippen. And then obviously Stockton Malone went to back-to-back finals and couldn't get a ring. So
that Seattle statement might be something because of the finals that Jordan played in. That was the one he had the least amount of dominant statistical performance.
Yep.
And GP's on record saying if he guarded Jordan in Game 1, that'd be a totally different series.
Yeah, George Karl was late to do that, but it's like we're saying too. It's like you're gonna wear Gary Payton out guarding Jordan. Can you really do that over a 7-game series and have him be as effective? You probably can't.
I'm risking it though. This is what you're playing for.
That's a good point. Yeah.
There's nothing else to play for. This is it. Do it.
I hate it when those teams like those mid-90s Sonics teams, they just get forgotten by time because they were never able to do it. They
had good role players. Nate McMillan, Detlef Schrempf.
I used to love watching the Sonics back in the day, and I just hate and I hate to think about maybe what some of these teams of our era are going to be the forgotten ones when we think about it later.
I already got one in mind.
I mean, what team of this era you think could be a forgotten?
What you think, Zion?
The OKC team that should have won.
The thing about OKC is they all three went on. Durant went and got his.
To be successful, yeah.
I think
as a team, like what they did as a team.
The Pacers, lethal. The Pacers teams that lost to the Heat, the Paul George, Roy Hibbert. That was a very good.
They're already forgettable.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them up there.
That was a very good team, and they pushed those Heat teams, and we've already forgotten about them. So I think we got another special guest. Hello.
Yeah, I think those Detroit teams from the mid 2000s, starting in 04, they won a ring, granted, but they were always consistently there, and I don't think people still talk about them as much as they should because the star power wasn't necessarily like we see.
But I don't think there's any team that you could say was near miss the way they were. Some near misses or teams that easily could have taken advantage. That were really good teams, like the Sonics, like the Jazz, like the Knicks, like the Rockets, like the Magic in the 90s. Like I just don't feel like they're the same caliber of teams in today's NBA that we can make the stronger case or be a similar case to what it was back in the 90s.
Thank God for LeBron for saving the cash.
Two Rockets comments. The Rockets.
Well, the Rockets won 2 titles when Jordan was out of the league.
As a Rockets
now.
Well, the thing about the Rockets now is they should have won that Warriors series, but Chris Paul's hamstring went out on him. Like they should have closed that out. I think.
I'm not even buying that, bro. I thought the Warriors were coming back. I thought the Warriors were coming back regardless.
I don't know about that one, man. Chris Paul was dominating that series, man.
Let me ask y'all this: what if Kevin Durant doesn't go down in Game 5? and he stays healthy the rest of that series, do they come back and beat Toronto?
Yes.
Because I kind of feel like they do.
Bro, no, it's not even. They didn't even need KD. If they just had Clay, they would have won that series.
I think they would have won the series with just Clay.
Ooh, okay. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh, you mean Clay's a good player?
Oh God.
You want me to share with Lethal what you were saying the other day?
Go ahead, if you want to bring it up.
What did you say? Tell me.
Man, this guy was trying to make an argument of how Klay Thompson had the potential to be a top 25 player of all time. All time. Realize you got to think about who's at that 25 range all time.
Yes. Now, Lethal, let me give you some more context before he blows us out of proportion.
All right,
I said I made this statement. Pierce can back me up because I originally made this statement to him in the green room about 2 years ago that Klay had the potential based on how he could go down as one of the best shooters of all time from 3 point, best 3-point percentage, rack up a ton of points. He was, before the ACL injury, one of the best two-way players and was borderline all defense or second team all defense, made a few teams, was around there, one of the best two-way guys, a little bit of a rebounder, obviously doesn't dribble, doesn't do a lot of stuff, doesn't necessarily get his own shot all the time, but all that considered with the 3-point shooting, with his ability to score in droves, and we've seen him score 60 points and just go, crazy and be a great defender, that he had the potential to be a top 25 all-time player, which is very lofty, but I said had. And these guys went crazy because I said had the potential.
Go ahead and explain.
they jumped on you and then realized you said had.
Yes.
No,
that's how it went down, pal. Don't change. No. Don't have your business history. No.
It don't change the sentiment, bro. It's still wild to me.
I got a question for the group that I asked myself earlier today, and I kind of didn't know how to answer it. But let's say this. Let's say Kawhi wins another title with the Clippers and gets Finals MVP. Is he a top 3 small forward of all time at that point?
Top 3.
Is he top 3?
Man,
he probably,
because that company he's going to be in would be like Kareem and
Has anybody ever won a title being the leading scorer on 3 different teams? There's no way, right?
I don't think so.
LeBron has obviously done 2. I guess LeBron scored for 3 as well. Obviously,
he was the leading scorer on the Spurs.
He won Finals MVP, so I was just assuming that. Okay, has anybody won 3 and been 3 different teams, 3 different Finals MVP?
No, never.
There's no. I mean, LeBron could be a third too. LeBron and Kawhi are kind of both vying for the same thing.
But I mean, it's hard because I personally have KD in the top 3.
I got KD at 2.
Some Larry Bird.
Yeah, I think KD's number 2. Yeah, KD's number 2.
Deserves his due, guys.
Is Kawhi ever going to pass Larry?
Yeah, well, Kawhi passed Larry Bird if he wins another title and Finals MVP.
What's the 3 right now? Is it LeBron, KD, Larry in some sort of order? General
that's
consensus?
My 3. Yes, that's my 3.
I don't know if Kawhi's ever passing Larry, bro.
I don't know. Larry was doing some crazy stuff, man.
No, facts for sure.
Larry was different.
No, for sure.
Also, let's remember too. Larry won NBA MVP. Kawhi's never won a season MVP. I mean, he's won Finals MVP, but he hasn't been like. How many times has Larry MVP the league? A couple times at least.
I think twice.
I think he went back to back. I'll look it up right now, but just to confirm. But I mean, Larry was in an advanced 3-point shooter for his time, and before the back went out, decent, defensively. Like Larry was a great player.
Larry was very good.
He was really good.
Go ahead.
No, I agree with you guys. Even if Kawhi would win, and I think Larry, he's just stamped. You know what I mean? And like you guys said before, he just doesn't get credit. Everything that he's done is starting to get washed under the rug, and the stuff that he was doing was just, it was poetry, and just imagine how Larry was scoring. It was so effortless. Not saying Kawhi doesn't look effortless, but it's just, it took a lot to get Larry out of his game, and it's kind of, I just don't see Larry dropping out of that. No.
Larry was the Rookie of the Year in 79-80, 3-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 12-time All-Star, 3 times All-Defensive.
People probably don't realize that Larry Bird made three All-Defense.
He made 10 All-NBA teams.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So that's crazy. He has to be in your top 3. He has to be there somewhere.
I don't think
so you top 15 for 10 years. That's wild.
Yeah, I don't think you can bump Larry.
I'll have Kawhi over Pippen.
Yeah.
But
I'd have Kawhi over Clay, Adam.
Yeah. He's won 2 Finals MVPs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that point.
My sarcasm.
You try to troll over here.
Michael got 43.
Look at that efficiency.
2 3-pointers. 43 on 2 3-pointers.
That efficiency, man. It don't come.
That's crazy.
That's legit nuts.
James Harden could never.
This one, he was built like a brick too. He is massive.
Who, MJ?
Yeah.
He was trying to get that home run swing up.
Yeah, he had the baseball body.
Yeah. John Starks just hates life right now. The Knicks do the same thing every single play. I mean, it's not that it's not
look
working.
At this. Look at this. Look at this. Like look at this basketball. Like he got fouled, but it's just like there's a reason why certain players were never in rhythm, because I don't know who said I couldn't distinct the voice, but it's like every time they came down, it's literally like, all right, they're gonna do this. And remember, in some systems when they do the same thing over and over, it's good because the ball is moving. But within the Knicks, they might throw it in the Pat. He might get the ball every single time, where the next man might not touch the ball in that system within the whole quarter. Then, like you guys say, they're not able to shoot the ball, and it's just like this system was crazy.
This is a tweet. This is totally random.
Changed.
Totally random. I'm going through my Twitter timeline, and someone just randomly tweeted, Knicks fans got to explain to me why John Starks is a fan favorite.
Because he was fearless. He would body Jordan, he would body Reggie Miller, he got in their faces, he was physical, and he did go off. Starks made an all-star team or two. Like, he wasn't some scrub. And also he had a great story. Like, he was stocking shelves in like Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he's from, before he made the NBA. Like, he had a hard-nosed, hard-scrabble story. He played well, became like a fan favorite because he didn't give a fuck. He would just get in people's faces and body him up and get fights. And yeah, he came up short in some big spots, but like, he hit plenty of big shots too. Was
John Starks the Delhi of the 90s, is what you're saying?
He was much better than Delhi. Relax, pal.
Much better than Delhi.
Come on. Show some respect.
Hey, stop comparing everybody to Delhi, bro.
Why?
I've been saying that of late.
And
NBA champion.
He is. You can't take that away from him.
Cannot take that away from him.
Yeah, I agree about Starks. He was just one of those players that was hard-nosed. He's the definition of New York basketball and New York people, where they get it from the grunt and they're not afraid of anything. And he definitely represents everything about New York. Yeah, you know, the GOAT was scoring a lot of points on him, but he was still trying his hard. It wasn't like he was just giving up. Like, he was literally trying in a system where it's just it was failing because the system wasn't helping him, if that makes sense. So he was doing a good job of playing defense, but the help side wasn't good. And like he said, like, he's a definition of New York people where they just everything wasn't given to them. And like he said, he was doing grocery bags, and he came within the NBA, and that's why he was a fan favorite. So I agree. I think we need to show Starks a little bit more respect, because in that era, Jordan was giving everybody buckets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Starks was the epitome of grit, and he ended up he made an all defensive team. He was the 6th man of the year in 96, 97, and made one all-star team. So I mean, it's like he didn't have a garbage NBA career. Like, you got to respect him.
Cash Out Christian with an interesting one here. He said Ginobili over Clay.
All right, let's slow our roll here a little bit, pal.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Ginobili's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but Clay, come on.
It all depends. Like, so like if we were on this,
he thought about that Clay clip. He was like, "Yeah, that Clay jumper."
But you need a bucket. Like, Clay can. I mean, like, Ginobili can get you a hard-nosed bucket. And you go in the lane.
But get you a bucket. Not saying I'm taking
get you a bucket, but I'm saying, like, you need someone to go off. You need buckets in a hurry. I'm going to trust Clay a million times over than Ginobili.
Well, you could put the ball in Ginobili's hands a little bit more.
Yeah. They're two different players. Somebody said Ginobili, and those are two different crafts. Yeah. That's they really like the stuff that Ginobili does, but like, we know, who knows, Clay might can do it. It might be the system, but Clay can't do what Ginobili does, and Ginobili can't do what Clay does.
Yeah.
There's no way Ginobili's going to score 60 points and only dribble to have the ball for 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's
but he'll get you one of those tough lefty layups in the lane.
Exactly, and that's what Clay can't do.
Someone said Ginobili not going for 60. I mean, if he was out of Spurs,
Ginobili's not going. He's not going for 60. Come on,
Ginobili could get up 60. We're going to the fourth quarter here, Ty.
Spurs system, though.
We got an Earl Monroe interview at Courtside. Look at the guy next to Earl Monroe. Who is that? That's somebody, right? I don't know.
Adam's uncle.
Yeah, saying courtside in the Garden. It's somebody.
Well, here's a good segue there. Would you rather? Let's do a pick one, and then we'll do some more trivia. Would you rather sit courtside at MSG or courtside at Staples Center?
Ooh.
Well,
okay.
If you want to admire some baddies, you're gonna pick Staples Center because the Champions Club is gonna be popping.
I'm saying at Staples.
But if you want history, you get your ass to the Garden.
Man, listen.
It all depends what era and what teams.
Okay.
So like, I would say, I much rather watch MJ play the Knicks at MSG in that era than the Lakers, only because like the history and stuff, and like people understand like the way that New York fans are when you're in there and they're like, they're like crazy. Like Lakers fans are dope, and like you guys say, you might bump into Denzel, but it's just that New York crowd is just it feels like I can't explain it. Like you guys know, like it's like
man. Staples Center isn't there to watch the game.
It's insane. It's insane, man. You might have a 60-year-old woman like, come on, make the shot. Like, and it's just like the love for the game in New York is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to imagine sitting courts. I don't know. Like, obviously Staples is Staples, but like
Steve Kerr, though.
Yeah, Steve Kerr hitting some shots. There's just something about the Garden when it's just basketball.
I don't know. It's crazy,
there's
man.
something about the Garden.
Staples trying to get off a gram.
Here's a good one. Would you rather go to the casino with Michael Jordan or the strip club with James Harden?
I think you're going to say Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, why James? Why do we pick James Harden?
Dennis Rodman.
Or Dennis Rodman. You can summon Dennis Rodman.
If it's Dennis Rodman, then you have to take Dennis Rodman.
So I'm definitely going to the strip club because, I mean, I can't ask Mike for his money to gamble. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like Mike, when he's out there, I feel like he's probably generous.
Nah, he gambled too seriously, bro.
I don't see Mike saying, "Oh, you're out of money here. Take 50,000."
Hasn't Barkley busted Mike's balls about being really cheap that he doesn't tip?
Exactly. Yeah, MJ be laugh in your face.
This ain't the casino, dog.
MJ be like, "I can't help you, dog. So you on your own."
He said, "I can't help."
Hey, MJ, they took 300,000, man. Let me get 100,000. I can see him saying, "You'll get the hell out of my face."
You'll get another marker like that.
Get out of here.
Whoa, damn, Steve Kerr.
Lethal, we got a question for you in the comments. If you could work with one shooter in NBA history, who would it be? All of NBA history.
All of NBA history. Dang, these questions are good. Ooh. I need a second with that one. That's like a dessert answer.
Right? Yeah, that's like and Kobe. Yes, Mike would definitely wherever he goes.
Of course, he'd be drinking.
Yeah, Mike's drinking at the casino, buddy.
Have you been watching The Last Dance?
Yeah, Mike's drinking in the documentary.
I would say early Michael Jordan to help him extend his shot earlier, because I noticed his old film. You know what I mean? How he was shooting and how he made the adjustment later on in his career. I would love to have worked, to help him early in his career, because usually 9 times out of 10, people have tremendous athletic ability, have a hard time shooting because you have to learn how to balance that jump shot. So like if you notice, a lot of people who have super crazy athleticism that's explosive, they have a hard time of shooting a consistent mid-range and 3-point jump shot. Or like we've never seen Michael Jordan like come down, do a step back real quick and like pull up like Steph Curry and stuff like that. And I think, there's certain movements that like a sidestep and stuff like that. Like I would love to have shown him how to adjust the two, which I've helped, some people that have athletic ability to learn that as well. So that would have been fun. Because if you notice the stuff that Steph Curry and Trae Young do, picture Russell Westbrook doing that. It's so much that goes into it because you have to learn how to, move a certain type of way and then cut off the Ferrari at certain times. And I do a great job of letting people understand how to do that.
Lethal. So whenever you're trying to break down a client and break down a player, do you go into it beforehand watching film, or is it more hands-on and then you'll watch film afterwards?
Yeah, so like if I was about to train Tom, I don't just train people. So like if you hit me up, hey, I want to train with you, I'll go watch film on you and then go into the project, because I watch everything, your body, how you are on the bench, how you are as a player. Because some players, people say, I just want to, I'm hungry. I'll train anybody. And that's not true, because everybody isn't good to work with. So I want to be around somebody that's acceptive of a coach. You know what I mean? And because I'm here to help you, and I want to be in a situation where you understand I'm here to help you and not talk down on you, if that makes sense. So, I'm just really selective on who I pick.
That's real.
Makes sense to me. You guys ready for some more trivia as we move through the fourth quarter here?
Let's do it.
What was Scottie Pippen's career high for points in a game?
Scottie had this
I'm guessing it was when
I'm just
MJ
gonna
was away.
I'm gonna say when MJ was out there, 50 something.
Yeah, say like 52.
Yeah, I'd say 53.
I'd say 48.
I'm gonna guess 44.
I think you're selling Scotty short with that.
I don't know.
I mean, there weren't high scoring games.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's 94-9. It's pretty high scoring for this game. 40 cash out Christian 49. Scotty, he could get buckets though.
Yeah, but I mean, people find out Last Dance too. He was a pass first type.
Oh, for sure.
Forward. Yeah,
Initially, but he became more of a scorer.
Never more than 22. He scored more than 22. Don't do that to Scotty.
Didn't ask for long answers
crazy.
only.
Don't do that to Scotty. All right, what we got for the answer?
47. Oh, that was closest right there.
The year is most
47.
interesting too.
97.
97, because it was with Mike.
Wow.
Mike Buster.
You would have thought it was when he was retired, probably.
Yeah.
What we got for the next one here? Oh, this one's easy. MJ wore 23 and 45. What was the third number he wore with the Bulls?
Oh, 12.
Yeah, that's easy.
Damn. All right. Okay.
I want to know what a dude that stole the jersey. That's what I want to know. Where is he at?
Right.
That happened in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Where is that jersey at? And how much you selling that thing for?
Look at that shot he just had to took. Like, I apologize. I apologize, cut you guys off, but like,
No, you're good.
the Knicks were up. I could be wrong. Did we say 15 at first?
They were up at least 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
They
down
were up
9 right now.
14 points. Now they're down 9. And if you notice the way they're playing right now, they threw the ball in the big pat. He turns. He has to shoot a one-legger. And it's like what are we doing? They were giving the ball back to him again. That wasn't a bad shot right there. Okay, he made that one. That wasn't a bad shot. But it's more like, let's get some strategy with this, because clearly nobody in the NBA at that time could check Big Pat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So let's make it easier for him. You know what I mean?
And MJ's not in the game right now. They're not really taking much advantage of Michael not being in the game. Well, there's a good move by Anthony. They're not the guards aren't penetrating, it seems. Like their whole thing is dump it down and drive into a contested lane, I think. That's what it seems like.
The one
That's what it seems like.
The one thing I'm loving about Chicago, especially this era and the benefits of the triangle, is the fact that when your superstar goes out, the offense doesn't necessarily change that much where you lose bad shots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're still getting good possessions, good shots, no matter what you're doing. Right. That's how they're able to raise that lead.
They're getting the same shots. It's just Michael is pretty much the only one kind of hitting those right now.
Right. But think about how many times we see in today's game where like a superstar player go out and look at the Lakers, when LeBron goes out, the offense is totally different.
I mean, Pat's making some tough shots.
Yeah,
that wasn't a good shot though.
Terrible shot, but Ewing actually had himself a game this night.
Look where he caught the ball.
That's just not fair, man.
That's a crazy play. He caught the ball for a post up at the free throw line though.
Has there even been a player like Pat since he played?
What? Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at all the bigs now.
Well, but
they're just not getting as many shots. Yeah.
Now they're shooting threes. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and that one-legger mid-range, the one-legger three-pointer, that's just beautiful. But how? See, this is how you know they're not on the same page. 3 people ran over there, and nobody was cutting off the baseline.
He got right to baseline.
He went right baseline, and it was 3 teammates over there, and he still got to the rim.
All right, Pat's kind of taken over now since we started talking.
But the Bulls aren't dumb. See, this is what people have to understand. Phil is he knows. They'll take those type of points because what people don't understand is he is scoring, but it's so difficult that the longer the game goes, which you'll see deeper, it's going to be hard to hit those type of shots because he's going to be so tired. But the Bulls aren't as tired because, like somebody was saying, that system that they can catch their breath a little bit. He's getting used like a car driving from DC to Seattle. You know what I mean?
Like every possession that the Knicks have, Pat's at least getting a touch on the block and get him beat up a little bit, even if it doesn't end with that, you know?
Right. Look at him at the free throw line. He's like, Jesus.
He like, when do I get off work? This is a lot.
Right.
Damn, but he putting up a game right here. He's about to hit 30.
How do you guys feel about that freeze at the free throw line? Like the stop shot?
Well, why do so many guys do it?
Yeah, why is that a thing?
I mean, just like why certain people don't golf right or throw a football right. You know, it's something they were doing since they were younger, they were comfortable with. You know what I mean? So, but that type of shot, when you're tired, it'd be very hard to, like you guys said, if we had analytics, it'd be pretty sick to see how many shots Patrick Ewing made when the clock was under 5 minutes or something at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Because that type of shot, you're literally like, if you're tired, it's so much that has to go into it instead of that smooth release. You know what I mean? That was so beautiful.
He's putting in work.
That was beautiful.
Lethal, as a NBA shooting guru, what do you make of LeBron changing his free throw stroke? Like it changes every year somehow. What do we make of that?
I think if it doesn't work, absolutely change it. I think whoever changed the last recent one, it started looking a little bit better. I'm a huge fan of that.
The one that he's doing,
stick with that.
The one that he's doing right now, that he was doing this season.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that one. I wasn't a huge fan of I think it was like a step up or something that he was doing.
Yeah,
that I had written down. Yeah, I was not a huge fan of that, but I get the concept behind that because the step up can kind of help with the rhythm. It's like the 1-2 step, just like when you step into your jump shot. But the way that his body's built and how big and massive his legs are, I think with him taking that deep breath and relaxing and then taking a step up was why he was hitting front iron because it was relaxing him way too much. You know what I mean? So, I was
just about to say, as a Cavs fan, I've been terrified of LeBron shooting free throws for about 16 years of my life.
Yeah, it's just the way that he releases the ball. Because if you guys notice on the wing, and that his shot is very efficient, but you know, I do a lot of studying, and we haven't seen LeBron take a lot of shots from the corner, and it's because the way that the ball releases off his hand. But that just shows you how intelligent he is. Just like we said with Michael Jordan, players like LeBron and Michael Jordan know when to shoot and when not to shoot, and that's what makes them greats. You know, a lot of players just take bad shots, and LeBron and Michael Jordan understood when and where to take those type of shots, and that's why I respect those players a lot.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Explain, but Chopz, hang on one second. Just explain real quickly why, with his release, why it's not conducive for him to take corner threes.
That's something I wouldn't want to talk about on here. I know why it's not, but I feel like it's just small changes, you know, but you know, just like if you notice, when he goes left, it's easier to release off the dribble, but then when he goes right. And that's why, if you notice, when he goes right, he 9 times out of 10 turns that corner, and you rarely see him go right and just float up over somebody and shoot it. You know what I mean? And like I said, that's what makes him great because he never puts himself in a situation that he doesn't have to take a shot that he's uncomfortable with. And that's why I really appreciate his game because he's mastered how to get points and how to understand the formula within the offense to be successful.
Also, just as a casual observer of LeBron in basketball, LeBron, one of his best things he does is set up guys in the corner to shoot threes. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense for –
You said the corner?
Yeah, like whether it was the Cavs, Kyle Korver would always be in the corner. Danny Green
passing, right?
Yeah, passing. I'm saying he's always passing to guys in the corner, so it's not like he's going to be there anyway.
Yeah, but think about this. Like in any system, if that corner was available for him, just how the offense would be. Because sometimes if he's on the wing, sometimes things might be clogged up, and it's just different things that. Yeah. Why, like we said, what makes him great, what makes MJ great, because there's things that MJ could do that LeBron couldn't do. MJ could shoot in the corner. MJ could go right. And just like we said, like the way that LeBron was able to just take off, MJ could do that, but it didn't have as much power and tenacity as LeBron. So, I just feel like if it's small things that MJ did differently and small things that LeBron did differently, that it would just change the whole characteristic of the offense, But in today's era, LeBron doesn't have to change as much because the defenses don't force as much to make players uncomfortable.
All makes sense.
Yeah.
So Kai says, "Who's the most overrated center of all time?" Kai,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
tough one. That's like we need Google.
Center's such an underappreciated position, anyways. I feel
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Ewing might be the most underappreciated center of all time, for real.
Yeah.
I honestly,
imagine.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I honestly think Hakeem is one of the most underrated centers because I feel like he doesn't get his flowers.
Are you sure about that though? I mean,
you say that, and I would hope it's not true because
he says it because he's a child.
But especially my generation doesn't respect Hakeem as much as Hakeem. Hakeem.
We gotta be honest though.
Go ahead.
Honestly, the most decorated player in probably basketball history is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And nobody ever puts him in the top 5
it
or
sucks, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That sucks, man. Yeah, man.
Kareem
what pisses me off too? The thing that really makes me mad is how we say LeBron and MJ and Kobe, but we forget Kareem. We forget people who really were dominating the game. And like you said, if rings matter, there's people that did some remarkable things in their career. We don't even bring them up.
Right. No, that's real. That's real.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but
Kareem's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. I mean, his sky hook was legendary and transformative.
I think Magic gets underrated a little bit too. I'll say that.
I argued with a dude yesterday who said on tweet was like, "What did Magic bring to the NBA?" Man, if you don't shut your ass up, you don't.
I mean, change the whole damn.
Come on, point guard. Come on. There's no LeBron without Magic. You feel me? Come on.
That's a ludicrous statement.
Yeah. Look at this John Starks. He tried to go up on him, do a little 360.
Listen, John Starks had one of the greatest dunks in Madison Square Garden history.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I had that poster in my room during childhood.
There you go.
The dunk.
There you go.
I wonder how much better these players would be if the uniforms weren't so heavy, because these uniforms look heavy. It just looks so heavy.
Well, the NBA brought back.
Nah, go ahead, Lethal.
The one thing I noticed now too, on the pick and roll, they didn't do a good job of making Mike uncomfortable. If I would have tried to put Mike more in pick and roll situations, because it looks like Starks, he's so fast, he's so agile that we get a big, we get Charles Oakley to set the screen, and we get one of the centers or something that they're checking Starks, then Stark attacks. You know what I mean? I feel like the Knicks didn't take advantage of how the Bulls were matching up on him.
Lethal, as a shooter, would you prefer to be in an offense that's predominantly pick and roll where you can spot up in the corner and have that spacing, or an equal opportunity offense like the triangle?
I mean, either. For a shooter, you win in both, because pick and roll situation, you're either going to give me the shot or you're going to give my center the shot. And the triangle situation, I'm always going to get a shot. So if you're a shooter and you understand the system, like I told you what Craig made me do, I had to know the 1 through 5. You're going to score so many points, because the shooter is the most important part within these type of systems. just like you guys are saying, even in today's NBA, if you have a jump shot, now you get $100 million. You know what I mean?
Man, listen.
That's great.
Listen.
The Knicks make a little run here. Oh, see, Pat wants the ball.
Give it to him. Feed the big man.
QB saying, give it to Pat, man.
I'm saying give it to Pat too, but like that's okay.
But I have a question. Like what? Like that guy. Okay, that did go in, but just hear me out right now. He caught the ball on the block, drove all the way to the free throw line, took a one-legger. We can have a system where Pat isn't getting drained like that, and we can preserve him to get easier buckets.
Hell of a defensive play too.
Yeah, but when he has Will Perdue on him, I mean, you want to give him the ball.
But there's got to be easier ways for him to get looks than that.
Yes, that's all. That's all I'm saying. Like, if they would just like really broke down this, I think they could have had a good chance of making that run that New York was looking for. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
How do they not get that in a continuation?
So you see, he just missed that free throw at the end.
Yeah,
he's gassed. He's gassed right now.
And that little hiccup. Yeah, but I don't want to say that on live either. The little change, but it's just small things when you're tired that he would have to change that shot. But that would be fun to go look on Synergy if we could see his percentages under 5 minutes taking jump shots. Yeah, and how his percentages. Yeah, that would be fun to see.
See, this is Jordan. See, they're not. I guess they doubled him there. They did.
That was a great double.
Yeah, there's
LeBron would have blocked that Starks dunk, by the way.
Oh, relax.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
See, exactly.
No, don't encourage him.
Nah, he might have though.
Okay,
bro,
I'm not going to encourage him, but that's what makes them both different. LeBron is going to go. He's going to that glass.
Yeah.
Look at Scotty.
Ooh, the
Mr. Fundamental.
Let's talk about how players don't even use the glass anymore. Like it's crazy.
At all. Tim Duncan's probably in those Spurs practices preaching it. No one's listening.
Kyrie probably the best now at using the glass, but that's more so for layups and finishes as opposed to jumpers.
He uses it for his post up a little bit too.
He does. Yeah, Kyrie goes glass. Look at this. Look at this replay. LeBron is blocking this. Look how close MJ is to him. MJ yelled. LeBron is swatting it. Okay,
it's only his 5th game back though. You got to give him a little, little slack.
That's a good point.
And he was probably an AC the night before.
He may have been, yes.
So let's see what this Knicks offensive possession looks like with the game on the line.
It's going to Ewing.
Well, but why do you pick up the dribble? What is happening? Ewing got the ball at the.
He gave it back. Oh my goodness, bro! You got to set a screen.
That was bad by Derek Harper.
But look how this looks. It's just.
This is so ugly.
It's ugly.
Look at this. But
there's a beauty to it.
But no disrespect to Purdue, but it's like if they had the right system, Ewing could have had a 59, 60-point game, and it's just.
Lethal, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say what you can't say. If Will Purdue's guard me at 24-hour fitness, I'm telling everybody. His mask don't even fit. Nah, we not going there.
Caleb, what up?
I'm not going to be guarded by a substitute teacher. This is not the happen.
But that's why. But that's why I was saying why the Starks have the ball. Big Pat sets the cross screen for Oakley or something to have Oakley come set the screen for Starks to get the big now on Starks. He attacks and we put Ewing instead of all that running. He just simply did something. He still gets it's just like they could have took advantage of this bullshit.
They're going the long way to get what they want, Lethal, instead of the easy way.
Good point.
They're going
Good point.
Like instead of saying, like you're saying, they could have easily got Pat easier looks on the block, but they have him doing everything for some reason instead of using everybody else.
Yeah, unless, and remember though, there are some players that have that type of body that can go through all of that, if that makes sense, like running and jumping and diving. But at this time, Pat body couldn't adjust to this, so I think we had to save him. We should have saved him a little more.
Props to him for making both free throws. He's tired. Knocks both of them.
Oh, he went in. That's a lot of respect right there, man.
Look at MJ. Just no. What are they not?
Look at this. 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 We're come on.
How do you?
You can't put him on an island like that.
How do you?
He knows where to go to.
Look at the jog. He's just,
but
that was so easy.
Starks didn't even do a bad job there.
No, Starks is on it, but still, you can't give him all that room.
Bro.
Like he has freedom to go wherever he wants. They cleared out the entire court for him.
They cleared out the entire floor for him, and look how he catches his rhythm because he knew he wanted to get to that spot, and he caught his rhythm with the going backwards. Because at first, when he went back, he was going to pull up the first time. So watch this, bam, bam.
He didn't
have it. So,
he did have him on.
Yeah, so he went exactly. He's man. This is amazing, man.
Was anybody better adjusting in the air than MJ or Kobe? Like it just seems like that they're just so in control.
Dominique Wilkins,
Neek's up there. Okay, I would say some people might say
D-Wade. I'm not saying it. Yeah, D-Wade he's a unique monster, but that athleticism that Dominique had, I think. Do you guys compare Michael Jordan and Dominique's athleticism to D-Wade?
No.
Dominique was much more explosive though.
Yeah. So like I feel like I've seen clips when I used to study Dominique where he'd jump all the way to his basically climax of his shot, come down and still go back up with his shooting pocket and shoot the ball. And it's like, what the these guys are freaks.
Wow,
you know
that's
what I mean?
crazy.
So it's just. But that's what MJ was able. I've never really seen. See, D-Wade was remarkable, but I've never really seen him really jump, adjust to the right, come back, and then shoot a shot many times. You know what I mean?
D-Wade's a great athlete, but like, did he ever blow you away with the athleticism? Like, were you ever like wowed by it?
Those early D-Wade years,
freak stuff. Yeah. Man, you remember that dunk he had on the Cavs? That was
on Anderson. On Anderson, yes.
Bergeron went all into the.
I remember it vividly. That's a classic game.
Hey man,
that's a classic game.
That was sick, bro. You know what I mean? But that athleticism of Michael Jordan and Dominique, that's Vince Carter. Dominique. People don't realize. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. Who has more athletic ability, Dominique or Vince?
Ooh, Jordan's pissed.
I think Vince.
No, I would say that's tough. That's tough.
Dominique, bro.
I think Dominique's way more explosive, like off the bat and like at their peak. Yeah. But there's a beautiful fluidity to like Vince in the way he went about his dunks.
Strictly bounce. I'm with Vince.
Yeah, because I think Vince can jump off one leg a little bit better than Dominique.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, Pierce.
2 feet, like just pure explosion. You got to go.
Yeah,
but it's like
2 feet, definitely Dominique.
Let's give John Starks a shout out for being fearless here, going right to the cup. MJ was pissed.
We told you an hour ago, pal. We told you an hour ago.
My man went from bagging eggs, man, going to the basket right
there.
But
Adam, do you know what happens? I don't know what happens with these two free throws. He's not looking too confident, though.
Oh, no. Starks comes through.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Put some respect on John Starks.
Even that routine, is that like 7 dribbles?
He's gathering. He's
going.
But I'm saying, imagine if you're nervous and you have to do all that. Your brain is thinking about everything.
Yep. The deep breath. 1, 2, 3.
Look at all the New Yorkers, 5. Man. I tell you one thing, man.
Yeah, the Courtside there.
Going to those New York games, the New York Knicks have the capability of.
Look at Spike.
If they're playing, look at that. If they're playing good basketball, they can change the entire landscape of the mood of New York City. If they win, that mood. Man, that move that night, you can go to the subway station, ask you for money, they're gonna give you money. But if they lose, shit, you better not talk to anybody.
That's 100% a fact.
I think the NBA will be much like the marquee franchises. When they're better, the league is just better. So if you can have like a perennial playoff in New York City,
he did it again.
Yeah, Jordan just hit game winners.
Knicks are the only team in New York that really unifies the city.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point right there, man. That's a good point.
I mean, this is obviously going to be.
Here you go. Buckle up.
Spoiler.
This is what we came here for.
But still, spoiler. We know he doesn't score. So
that's a good point. Also, I'm just going to say this right now.
He's talking so much shit to John Starks.
Starks plays good defense on display.
All right, stop spoiling.
Relax, bro.
He does. Watch.
I don't care.
How
much? 14 seconds.
Man, shout out to John Starks, man. They're killing my man on here. Shout out, man.
I would have loved to know what MJ was saying.
But look at him, man. He's trying, man. He's
competing.
He's competing.
He's competing, and he knows in the back of his mind.
Oh my!
No, look, recovery.
Oh,
God.
You know what
But then great
Maybe that's
pass.
why they didn't double.
Oh,
But you know what I always. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Starks recovered on that play. He recovered. He broke. He got his ankles broken, recovered, and then Jordan made a great pass.
Who came
So
up?
the
Did
thing
Patrick
that
come up
confused
too
me-
much there?
Yeah, Ewing
I know we can't
came
rewind.
late.
I know we can't rewind. But the thing that confused me is the whole game.
Here we got a
Nobody was
replay.
coming to help.
And then they
Okay,
do
we
it
can go
here.
back?
No, they got a replay
Okay,
on my
cool.
stream. Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you something.
Look,
If they
turns his
show it
ankle,
all the
comes
way.
back. Good defense. He's in Jordan's mug.
Okay, what is Pat like? The thing I'm saying is you haven't came all game. Now you come up.
All game.
He closed
Because
way
I could
too
be
hard.
wrong. Was Stark still there though?
yeah, he was still there.
Watch this. Watch this. Boom, boom, boom. Look. He's still there
Yeah.
for the cover, but he runs into Pat, right?
Bill Wennington's only points of the game.
Should someone? That's just a tough play. You're right. They didn't do that all game, and they did it there. I guess it's like you got to not let Michael get the shot
If
off.
we're gonna come, let's do this. We're the coaches, right? Soon as MJ came across half, you guys are coaches. You let me know. Should we have sent the double team?
Well, how much time left? What was that?
14
No,
seconds.
no.
left.
seconds.
Once he got to the three. So once he gets into that groove, should the double team have come?
Yes, I would say.
Here's
right?
my thing: if you're going to double far out. Don't wait.
Yeah,
until
don't wait until it gets down there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look at that little kid.
So why are we now? We wait till he gets all the way in there to say, "Oh, here I'm going to help you."
Yeah.
But Lethal is like coaching people. Like that's just a player not necessarily doing his job in the moment. No matter how great of a player he is, that one little mistake might have cost you the game. Something that you didn't do all game, you do now, and you got
I
to.
think he was just fearful. He was just fearful. He's like,
They just didn't want MJ to beat him. I'm guessing.
I'll take that.
They just didn't want because MJ just hit that same shot before.
3.1 seconds. We're in the box system. I don't remember this last, but
It doesn't go well.
It doesn't look like it's going to go well.
Okay.
It doesn't.
No, I'm just telling you guys. Okay, other than Pat, who like you guys agreed on, there's nobody that we feel like they could just get the ball and do their thing, right?
Yeah.
So
that's ugly.
I knew that. I told you.
Go easy on my boy John Starks.
Oh my God.
No, it's not
Pat
his fault.
Riley's so pissed.
Y'all been gassing Starks up,
But
man.
I mean, Michael pushed
that's
him.
not his fault. Hold up. Oh, that wasn't. Come on.
I don't know, man.
It's not a foul.
Grab the ball.
I got a question for you guys. You guys are the coach. The was at 3.1 seconds. Are we in the box in that situation, or how would you guys? What would you guys do to put yourself in a good situation?
I feel like I'm doing some off-ball action to get Pat rolling to the rim as opposed to going away from the rim because Starks wasn't going to get a good shot anyway with 3.1 coming from half court. That just don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to get Starks?
Absolutely.
Are you going to get Starks rolling, or I'm not? You ain't rolling, or are you going to get
You
a
should also, I forget who they had, but the Knicks should have had Hubert Davis on the floor for that shot also, for that
I
possession.
think you do an action where Starks comes up and you do some type of pick and Pat rolls and Starks maybe
There it is.
to the corner.
I love the one thing we can say was John Starks was very agile and very crafty off the pick and rolls that we spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I would have as he's getting that ball in the turn, somebody was coming with a quick, or they could have faked the screen and slipped really fast just so we could try to get the ball to Pat or Starks going downhill. That would have been a really good play.
I mean, we don't have to have a hot
really
take
good
right
play.
now, but the legend Pat Riley did not coach a good game. I'm gonna put that out there. This game was not one of his best games.
The Knicks did some weird stuff this whole game.
Phil was a better coach anyway, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
How are you going to fight me on that one?
I'm not. I'm with it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
with it.
I mean,
expect
Phil, listen, we know Pat looked better. He dressed better, but Phil's a better coach.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Lethal, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime, man.
This
Thank
was-
you for having me.
Above all else, I think this was very educational to a lot of people about how basketball works and how this, I learned a lot. So we appreciate you for joining us. For everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another game. Again, thank you to Lethal. We'll see you guys next week.
Sure.
All right. Have a blessed day, guys. Stay locked in.
Yep.